Hello YouTube, welcome to TandeGarage. Today we're starting a new series within the channel about rattle issues, not just on the BMW G20 that I have, but also other cars out there. I'm gonna break this video down into three sections. The first one talking about why do we have rattles, creaking and such, and next we're gonna go over the tools that we'll need to potentially fix some of these rattles, or at least alleviate them so that they're not as annoying anymore. So no BS, cut right into it. So first of all, why do we have rattle? You can kind of see now that I have this car dismantled in a way that the car or any cars out there, it's not stamped with one sheet metal. It's multiple layers of metal that's welded together. This is spot welded together. Some use adhesive. I don't know what BMW uses other than spot welding. I think they use adhesive and spot welding. So there's multiple layers. If we peek into here, you can see along this side right here, there's multiple layers. I can't even count how many layers of metals. So within metal that's welded together, there is like a gap in between, right, as you can imagine. And then there could be some resonance when, let's say, like a sound, it's entering the cabin. The resonance is going to go within the gaps, and it's going to create a resonant sound that you may hear as buzzing sound, or like some type of annoying sound, at least that. So this is a resonance, a type of, I want to say still a type of rattle. And next, of course, you have your physical rattle. For example, this one. And then also there could be some trim pieces that's rattling, let's say. I hope the microphone's picking that up. It's pretty loud anyways when I press on it. When a car goes over uneven road surfaces, for example, my car, or any cars out there really, it tends to flex with the body. And imagine if you are holding a sheet metal, like a thin sheet metal, when you're trying to bend it, like a twist it, you can hear some like crackling noises within that metal that's going to have, when it flexes, it's going to create those creaking noises. That's also going to be heard within the car, at least within the cabin, when a car goes over uneven surfaces. When the car is very high-end, for example, Rolls-Royce, Maybach, for example, they are going to isolate those out. That's what makes them a luxurious ride. But for BMW, it's semi-luxurious car brand out there, but because it's also focused on the driver, not like an executive car, right? So it's not something that they prioritize when it comes to creating or designing the car. So when the body flexes, it has stiffness into the chassis. And for the G20 compared to the F30 out there, I've read it somewhere, the stiffness of the car is above 50% more rigid than the F30. So that also explains why I heard a lot more rattles in my G20 than my F30. Also because of something like this. I want to say that we can potentially fix this, at least to make it sound a whole lot better, without doing much. So let's talk about some of the tools that we'll need, and then we'll go over to start episode 1. And just before I get it started, I'm just gonna let you know that I'm gonna be linking most, if not all, the stuff that I've shown in here on Amazon that you can purchase from. And I've also joined the Amazon affiliate program. That means if you use my link, click on it and purchase any items that I've linked, I'll get a cut out of it. It hurts nothing from your side, it just helps the channel to grow a little bit. So let's get started. We are mostly going to be addressing rattle and creaking noises within the interior by taking off interior panels, the trim panels, so that we can access some of these clips, fasteners behind them. So of course, that said, we're going to be needing tools that I've laid out in here, and we also are going to be able to address some of these resonance noises with adding mass when I talk about the material in here. But first, let's talk about tools. First, I have the big guy right here. Rattle. No clue where this is from, probably from China. I bought it off Amazon. It is pretty much all in one tool sets that you'll need in order to access most of the interior panel, trim panels. So we have the metal pop clip remover right here. And then we have picks. We have also some kind of pop clip remover with kind of like a plier. And there are also some other use that you can make use of this tool. You just kind of go over about what you want to be removing and see if this is going to be something that's going to be useful. Pry tool, plastic pry tool, everything in here. And I particularly like this set simply because when you like just feel the material, of course you can't, but if you're able to feel the material, it's pretty rigid. And when you're trying to pry something like a cover off, of course you want something more rigid. Then I've also had a set previously, it just bends, like it's a very cheap and I guess deformed plastic pry tool, and when I try to pry something open, it bends together with the piece I was trying to remove. That's not ideal, but this is something that's pretty rigid, and when you try to pry something out, it actually pries it over. So it has pretty much everything that you need from this entire set right here for you to access most of the trim panels. I also want to make note of why I love these plastic pry tool, because most interior trim panel pieces, they are made of some type of plastic materials. So using a plastic pry tool, something such as this, is going to prevent you from marring or scratching the surface that you're trying to work on, so that you can still maintain your ride in pristine condition. So let's put this away for now. Let's hope it's not going to fall over. And then let's start from left to right, I guess. This is also trim panel remover, metal and as well. I took this one out simply because it's different than the one I showed you earlier. And it has like a wider end for you to wedge it in between something, and when you try to remove some of the clips, this is going to be more useful than the other one I showed in there. And this is something I really just treasured over, simply because it's very thick, and I know it's not going to break whatever I'm trying to pry it with. And this one I just laid in here for the sake of looks like it may be helpful. This is something I got from AliExpress. My biggest complaint is that this actually is very thick, but at the same time, because it's dull, so I think it may be useful to pry something with it. But again, because the lip is very thick, it's not easy for you to fit it into the gaps in between panels for you to pry it open. So not my favorite tool, but I'm just laying it out here for you to check it out. And these are not your traditional pick. It's a set of 4. I got it from Princess Auto, almost an equivalent of a Canadian version of Harbor Freight if you're from the States. This is called a O-ring or oil seal remover tool. It's very different than your traditional pick because this has a sharp end and this doesn't. I've never tried to use them on a try to pry off interior panel, but simply because this is dull at the end, I think this is gonna be useful. And as you can see, just put down the pick right here. This is way thinner than this one right here. So I think it's gonna be useful. Again, never tried it before, hopefully this is something that I'm gonna stick with for now. And of course you still got your pick right here with a sharp end, and it's pretty thick of the material right here. It's not going to bend easily as well. There are certain scenarios that when you try to fit this one over, I would assume, again, never try to use it, but when you try to fit this one in, probably it doesn't have enough of that sharp end for you to remove or to unhook something. So hook is still something that you pretty much will need. And I've got two pocket tools right here. This is a set of two when I bought them. This is a pocket size flathead. This is a pry tool that's a little bit more bent. They are pretty much identical, except for, of course, like the angle that it gives you with the pry tool, but it's something good to have, but not necessary. But a flathead is something you definitely need. And also I like this because this also has a magnet end, just like this. And next, of course, I've got an actual magnet right here. Absolutely absolutely love it. It's going to save you a lot of hassle when you try to remove something and then it's in a deep spot. You're just gonna try to fish it with this magnet right here, also telescopic, so you can easily reach whatever you need to. And lastly, of course, you need different sizes of like ratchets and sockets. If you work on German cars, you're likely gonna need some type of Allen sockets or hack sockets. It's pretty much the same thing. And also some Torx and external Torx other than your standard, like a 10 mil is something you need to have. And perhaps like a 11, 12, 13, 14, but 10, 8, 7mm is something you most likely will need and encounter. And of course, this is a 3/8, this is a 1/4 inch, and then this is a longer 3-inch drive ratchet. Something like this is also going to be helpful. This is a Rattle, and it comes as a set like this. I just took it out from here because this is a very short length that you can actually reach a lot of places. For example, like right under the dash against the windshield for you to remove something. This is amazing. And that's pretty much the tool that we will need. And let's talk about material. And then now moving over to the material that we'll need. So let's talk about the felt tape first, cloth tape, however you want to call it. This is something I like to use mostly when I'm trying to deal with rattle issues. It acts more so as a buffer when you're trying to use, like there are two interior panels that's rubbing against each other. You may want to use something like this as a buffer because it's cloth material. When something tap on it, it's not going to make as annoying of a sound. Just gonna dampen whatever it's trying to rub against. So this is something extremely good to have. And then similarly, we have another tape right here that is an electrical tape actually. I use it pretty much either we'll be using this electrical tape or that one, the felt tape over there. And the difference between the two that like when we're dealing with these scenarios is that if I want to create like a suction, a vacuum effect, for example, when I have a interior clip that goes onto a chassis. But instead of using that to buffer, like dampen the noise, I'll use this one to create like a vacuum effect so that the clip's gonna stay in one place. I'm just gonna poke a hole in between or poke a hole inside and then put it over the chassis at the hole. and the clip is going to stay sucked, I guess, or in a vacuum space. It's not going to move and rattle around. So this is what I use the electrical tape for, like a vacuum effect. And of course, we're gonna need scissors to cut these tape. And then this is also pretty similar to a felt tape material. I've never used this before, hoping to try it. But supposedly this is a closed cell foam. It's going to repel water way better than the felt tape over there or the cloth tape over there. And this is pretty much like when I'm trying to deal with like creaking noises that's likely made by whether stripping that's rubbing against something else. So this will be something I hope to be useful. Again, never tried to use it before. I hope it's going to be useful. And yeah, so that's that one. And then let's talk about this right here. This is made by Norco. I'm not sure if they're still working on Amazon. Last time I checked, I couldn't find any in stock on Amazon, at least in the Canadian site. This is a sound deadening material that's thick. By thick, I mean this is like a butyl material here. So it's going to add mass because it's pretty heavy for what it is. It's going to add mass in terms of like adding weight to some type of chassis, like a piece of metal there. So instead of leaving the metal to be hollow so that it's gonna create like an echo sound, which is going to be your regular resonant noises. So this is going to add mass or weight to that panel or the sheet metal, whatever it may be. And also when something goes over, like rubbing against it, it's gonna create like a buffer effect as well. Because it's thick, depends on what you use it for. But mostly the primary goal for this, well, it was created, is to add mass or weight to a panel so that the echo or the resonance is dampened. And I like to use in conjunction with this. This is a closed cell foam also made by Norco. I'll just cut a piece like this, for example, and then cut a piece like that, stick it on top of it, and when you're trying to well, this is a closed cell foam, meaning versus an open cell foam, right? This is going to almost like a ceramic coating. When water gets onto it, it's going to sheet off. Whereas an open cell foam just going to soak the water, which is not ideal. So, but still, regardless, we're going to use it in interior, so should not see much of water anyways. But I like just to use it as conjunction so that not only I'm adding mass or weight to the vehicle in terms of like a hollow panel, this is going to act as like a buffer as well for whatever goes on top of it. And lastly, of course, we have some clips right here. Of course, these are off the market. Clearly says made in China. These are also amazing because when you're trying to take off interior trim panels, it's inevitable that you're gonna break some clips. So you want to have some different type of clips in hand, just in case you broke some of them, and then you're gonna have to replace it. So make sure you grab a bag or two. I have like 3, 4, 5 of them. And get different sizes as well. This is just mostly what's used in interior panels in terms of like a door panel or like a A-pillar. They all use the same type of these. And lastly, I just want to mention, talking about breaking stuff, there is always a chance when you're dealing with rattle noises that you may break stuff, and then it may sound worse than before. So this is just a disclaimer to you what to expect. You can fix it, likely, but then there is a chance that if you broke something, you have to buy it new. So just to set expectation to you that when you're trying to take something out to remove a trim panel, have the expectation you may break it, unless you do it very carefully, which you should, so that you know, when you're trying to fix something, it actually gets fixed, not worsen it. So just bear that in mind, right?